Hey guys, welcome back. Today's episode we're going to take a look into the possibility of repairing the coilover from the death cart. Normally when I shoot videos I know for a fact that I'm going to either succeed or come pretty close to succeeding. Today is going to be a complete crapshoot. I have no idea if any of this is going to work. So I guess just hang back and go through the motions with me. So like I said, sometimes when you take a second to look at something, you might see more than you did originally. On the death cart coilover, it snapped pretty much clean off at the top. I just didn't really think about it until I was really looking at it, but it looks like this part is removable, and I don't know if we're going to have to remove that. There was a screw in there, took the screw out. I don't know if we're going to have to remove that to repair it, but may have to remove it. But this is steel. I don't know what kind of steel. It looks kind of like some pretty cheap cast steel, but it was machined down, so it can't be too bad. The top half of the coilover, obviously this is the pillow ball mount for the top, and it has this spindle that goes through it. Now the spindle sheared off. I was doing a little test welding on this to see how it welded out. Wasn't too bad, which got my mind going, as it sometimes does. And I took the coilover the rest of the way apart, got the hat completely off, got this spindle separated from the pillow ball mount. First thing we got to do though is prep this metal. I'm going to flush this. I don't think that the little bit of material that I'm going to take off is going to affect the operation of the pillow ball. Again, getting back to this is a crapshoot. I have no idea. I'm going to flush this end up and kind of prep it, maybe clean it up a little bit to make it a little nicer to weld. I'm not going to really be able to bevel this because this is actually not super duper thick. But I think with the correct amount of weld reinforcement and get this kind of flushed up, and if we take breaks and put minimal heat into this, keeping the shock alive might work, might not. Who the fuck knows? All right, so we got our two pieces prepped. Now I think that it's not perfectly flat. It's got like slight angle to it. It's super hard to get it flat on a flapper disc. But luckily this kind of has a slight, I don't know if you guys can even really see that, but it has a slight slope to it. So I'm gonna try and match the slopes and really eyeball it. Now, I'm sure that this alignment is pretty key, because if you had it offset, you would then be making this eccentric, kind of like a cam lobe. I just don't have any way to make it any more flush on either side, really. I mean, I could sit here and kind of flatten it out, I guess, but my best bet is to tack it once and then really scrutinize it and kind of move it, and then tack it again and then let it cool and then kind of go from there. But I don't know. Please don't do this at home. All right, it came out pretty good. You know, I was kind of feeling a little rushed there because I was really afraid I was going to torch this thing in the process, but I think that'll do it. You know, at least it's worth a shot. I can't build it up much more because I need the clearance for the pillow ball. So, I mean, I'd call that kind of a success. I welded out all right. I mean, like I said, just rushed. Did have to cool this down with some water, kind of not really quench it, but just keep from killing these O-rings in here. Yeah, let's try and put it back together, see what's up. Well, it's all back together. Doesn't seem like it affected the operation at all. It looks good. Can't even really see it. Can't tell that it's been welded because it's up underneath there. And it tightened up real nice. So I guess it's good. I guess we'll see when we go to test it. God knows I'm not easy on stuff, so I'm sure we'll try and beat on it a little bit. That's all kind of squared away. The only other problem is we got to fix the tension arm. Now, I don't have a lot of aluminum welding rod to fix the tension arm, and I was originally going to try and swap it to steel. However, I'm feeling incredibly lazy. Again, curiosity killed Charles. I do have some aluminum tube that I was kind of thinking about sleeving it. I don't know. It looked like I was just jerking something off. But sleeving over that tension arm maybe help give it some beef. Then again, I might just bevel it real good and try and re-weld it, not do such a shitty job. So I went ahead and tried to run a pretty hot little bead through that, and I put it in the vise, and you know, just one pass, I shouldn't be able to snap it, and I totally was. So I'm not sure what kind of grade this aluminum is. It may be like a higher silicon grade aluminum that's not really weldable. That's the case in a lot of machined aluminum, like the big billet stuff. Some of this is not really conducive to welding. It's not designed for welding. So this may be the case with this, and if it is, we need to go to option B or plan C or whatever. We need to cut this down and then make it steel. That way we can ensure that it's not going to fail and kind of mitigate any risk. Now, we will lose some adjustability. Like, in order to adjust it, you will have to drop the bolt out of it, pull it down out of the way, spin it out, and then put it back in, which would be a massive pain in the ass. So maybe we can figure out something with that nut on that side. I don't know. it's kind of a crapshoot with that. But we got to come up with something better than this, because this is not going to work.
Without adding anything prepped?
Yes.
Kind of.
Alright, so what the plan is for this tension arm, I'm going to go ahead and I took a stock one, I cut the end off right here. There he is. Cut the end off right here, and then I clean this up and cut the other end off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this piece of 1-inch DOM to it, and then weld that to the nut setup that I got from D&B, and then put it back on the car. Alright, got that all welded up. Looks pretty nice. Looks pretty quality. Alright, so now we got to cut this down to length. And the total length on this is 6 inches. Throw this back in the bandsaw and chop it down. So I got the nut welded onto the DOM, to the stock tension arm, and it looks pretty good. These zinc coated nuts you gotta clean the shit out of, because otherwise the zinc coating just pours off them. But we're gonna go ahead and get this threaded onto our bolt that is welded to the stock tension arm, or not the stock, the circuit sport tension arm setup. So I had to swap thread pitches because the one that was on here was super fine thread and nobody stocked it. So of course, in my true Charles fashion, I went to a standard thread and I welded a bolt to this portion of it. Personal thing. Alright, so went ahead and got these all buttoned up and got them installed. The only thing left to do is to go try and rip them. Alright guys, we didn't get to really go and test out the death cart anywhere where I could film it, so that's going to have to wait for another day. However, we are ready to go. I can't wait to get out there and test it and see how it does. I can't wait to show you guys how it works out. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments below. Can't wait to get it out there, like I said. Hope you guys have a great day.